Since clocks were used in the 4th century, the clock business has seen massive transformations. The clock business started by creating mechanical clocks, but by the 1650s, they had moved on to pendulums. A wristwatch was invented in the late 1860s and presented to a German countess as a present. For the following decade, timepieces were made specifically as presents for female recipients. However, today, trends in the watch market such as price spikes and drops are increasingly being tracked by the general public as an indicator of the health of the economy. Welcome back to the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. The luxury world is back with yet another watch-related video. Today, let us talk about 3 things. First, the declining prices for in-demand watches like Rolex, Patek, and Audemars Piguet happening for the first time in years. We will examine both winners and losers lately in the watch market. Second, let's check out what's going on and why are high-end dress watches quietly gaining popularity despite the steel sports chaos. Lastly, since Omega is doing well in the middle of the pricing spectrum, a conversation transpired with a technical data analyst to examine what's happening to the watches in the range of $5,000 to $10,000. To start, Rolex Daytonas, Audemars Piguet Royal Oaks, and Patek Philippe Nautilus watch, all of which have seen their resale prices skyrocket in recent years, are now seeing the first ever decline. Watch investors are questioning what this indicates for the market as a whole, and mainstream media sites are taking note. At Chronic 24, we've seen that the winners and losers differ by brand and model, but over almost 500,000 listings, the data shows that there are clear winners and losers. Nautilus 5711 with the blue dial, which is the crowd's favorite, after peaking at about $240,000 in the first quarter, prices have dropped over 20% to roughly $190,000 in recent weeks, making it the most trending watch to see a precipitous dip. In comparison to the respective peaks in April and March, the Rolex Daytona reference 116500LN and the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak reference 15202ST have both dropped by around 15% and 22% respectively. Numerous people attribute this to recent worldwide economic developments, such as growing inflation, the situation in Ukraine, and the sharp decline in the value of cryptocurrencies. Meanwhile, according to our findings, there is a growing supply of hype watches entering the secondary market, which lowers prices and restores market equilibrium. As the hype dies down, some sleeper hits are waking up. The Girard-Perregaux Lori auto watchers from Cartier and Breitling, independent brands like Moser & Company, and almost all Omega Speedmaster models are going up in price because of all the attention the Moon's watch release got. In the first half of 2022, trade volume in the Chrono 24 marketplace increased by more than 50% year over year. This was due to higher pricing for some models and higher sales. Despite the sensationalized headlines implying a wildfire, the actual numbers indicate a more controlled burn. Next up, let's take a look at the dress watch industry, where prices and growth have been acting strangely recently despite the market's general trend towards simpler, smaller, and pricier timepieces. First, let's look at a few important examples. Since mid-2019, the price of a Vacheron Constantin 56 has nearly doubled, from about $8,500 to $17,500 and rising. The version in steel with a blue dial and the reference 4600E has seen the most growth, but the rose gold version has also followed a similar path. The London 1815 reference 20621 is a 36mm yellow gold time-only watch. Pre-owned examples sold for an average of $9,100 in July 2019, but now sell for an average of $15,500. While Patek's 5711 is down from its peak, the humble Calatrava continues to grow. For example, the classic 5196R sold for an average of $14,200 in July 2019, but now sits at $22,800 and still climbing. Although the precise reason for the rise in the cost of high-end dress watches is unclear, a number of factors have likely contributed to this development. Even though the world is still dealing with coronavirus, many cities have seen a rise in the number of people dressing up and going out to work and restaurants. Others have speculated that collectors who were once only interested in steel sports watches are now expanding their collections, while still others believe that dress watches have been priced artificially low for too long. Omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet, is the name of a legacy brand that has been gaining around in the middle of the pricing spectrum. Technical data analyst Björn Rusman of Chrono24 offers some insight into this trend. Accordingly, Omega may be found in the middle of the market, between the price points of $5,000 to $10,000. This price range accounts for around 25% of total market sales, making it a crucial area for producers to crack. According to him, many different brands can be found in the middle price range, but some of them, including IWC, Cartier, Panerai, JLC, and Zenith, are more dedicated to that price point than others. Nonetheless, the two brands that command the lion's share of the market are Rolex and Omega, which makes sense because the two brands have always had an unofficial rivalry in the market. Björn said that in the past, many of the most popular Rolex models were usually found in the $5,000 to $10,000 market segment. However, they have left the market segment with most of the models, so most Submariners, GMT Masters, and Explorer 2s are now in the $10,000 to $20,000 market segment. This left a significant amount of space for other brands to gain market share in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. As Rolex moves out of this range, Omega has more room to move in. What Omega did was put a lot of limited production models in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, like the 007 Masters, the Tokyo Olympics models, and the Dark Side of the Moon Speed Masters. Those drove a lot of traffic and sales for Omega, allowing the brand to increase the pricing on models like the Speedy Pro and the Seamaster 300M Professional, as well as the Planet Ocean and the Aquaterra. Björn concluded by saying that Omega's assortment appears to be mostly untouched by the market corrections we've seen over the previous 3 to 4 months. Therefore, the company has seen a lot of natural growth and very little speculation. That's all about it for the current updates in the watch market. Which revelation intrigued you the most? Let us know through the comment section below. Also, before going, please do not forget to like this video and click the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to watch more content on luxury watches from us. This is Luxury World. See you in the next one.